What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about A2 Mercenary Infinities. This thing right here. The level 12 Conviction Aura when equipped. Obviously a huge deal for any sorceress or any character that does elemental damage and doesn't have conviction themselves. We're going to be talking about the base for the Infinity. So while it is applicable to Infinity, it also, this information works for any Act 2 weapon, provided it has the appropriate number of sockets for whatever rune word you're building. So, in Diablo 2, there are 5 weapon speeds. In Project Diablo 2, there are 5 weapon speeds that an Act 2 mercenary can use. The lower the number, the faster it is. So you've got your minus 20 bases, minus 10, 0, 10, and 20. 20 is the slowest, minus 20 is the fastest. At minus 20, you've got Mancatcher. Minus 10 is Thresher and Giant Thresher. 0 speed is Great Poleaxe, Ogre Axe, Stygian Pike, and Ghost Spear. 10 is Colossus Vogue and Cryptic Axe, and 20 is War Pike. Now so at the intervals where there are multiple bases of the same speed, these three, so all the minus 10s have the same average damage, all the 0s have the same average damage, all the 10s have the same average damage, within 0.5 of each other, if you want to be a pedant. Like, technically, I think Great Poleaxe is 0.5 higher than the others, and Giant Thresher is 0.5 higher, or something like that, but they're basically the same. So, like, there's no difference between a Stygian Pike and a Ogre Axe, for example. They're the same thing. So, when you think about bases, think about the speed of the base, not the name of it, right? So, minus 20 is Mancatcher, Thresher, Giant Thresher, Great Poleaxe, Stygian Pike, Ogre Axe, Ghost Spear, Cryptic Axe or Colossus Vogue, and War Pike. So I am currently using the Stygian Pike, the 0 speed base. Now, this chart right here lists all the IAS breakpoints for any of the bases up to 147. So if you, like, let's say we have 25 IAS, Warren IAS, you go right here. The minus 20 is going to attack at 3.84. The minus 10, 3.84. The 0, 3.57. The 10, 3.33. And the 20 is 3.12. So as you move from left to right of the chart, you get fewer and fewer attacks per second. But attacks per second are only half of the picture if we're looking for DPS. The average damage we have to factor in as well. So that's what this chart does. It just multiplies, like, you see there's a formula here. Multiplies the attacks per second by the average damage. So we can see at each amount of IAS which base is doing the most DPS. And again, this is DPS, not sheet damage. Damage times attack rate. The thing we actually care about. So if you come over here, you'll just see that, like, once you have 4 IAS, Warpike just always wins. You always do the most DPS with a Warpike. Even at the really bad, in the really bad spots where, like right before a Warpike IAS breakpoint, like right here, the next best would be the 0 speed, so like a Stygian Pike or Great Poleaxe. 392. Warpike beats it, despite attacking a lot slower. So that's takeaway number 1. Warpike's always the best DPS. People seem to think that this chart here, attack rate, is more important than this chart here. And their argument is the more they attack, the more the mercenary leeches, the better he's going to survive. So that's the crux of it. Survivability. Like, even if you show them this chart, they're going to say, I don't need this chart. Just give me this one, because I'm willing to sacrifice DPS for survivability. That doesn't make much sense to me, because I've spent a lot of time playing this game, and the mercenaries don't die, right? The only time they die is when you have witches, souls, or dolls on a map. That's it. And that's, you're not gonna save the mercenary by switching to one of these bases. They're just gonna die when there's witches, souls, or dolls. So we'll talk about a little bit why I think the groupthink came to that conclusion. So in Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, which I didn't play because I don't like bad games, it was very important to pick the fastest base. So people were all about the Thresher in there. The reason is you didn't have these gear slots, right? So the only way your Merc was surviving was doing enough leech to live. In Project Diablo 2, we have these 3 gear slots. So your mercenary has a ton more defense, ton more PDR, resists, Warren IAS, Warren Leech, Deadly Strike, Crushing Blow, variety of other stats that keep it alive. So in Project Diablo 2, it is not necessary to mortgage your DPS for survivability. So, and I'm gonna prove that in a second. So this is the chart you want to look at. Warpike's always the best base, unless you have 0 IAS, in which case you're lost. If you're trying to make an Infinity with zero Merc IS, like get some better Merc gear first and then make your Infinity. But at any amount of IS greater than 3, Warpike's the best DPS base. And I'm going to prove to you that the Merc survives. So, this is what we got going on. This is my current Infinity. Stygian Pike. I run 105 IAS. So, 30 here, 30 here, 45 here. I'm going to make a new Infinity in the Warpike. Here. And then we're going to run a map. $300 plus, 318. Let's fucking go. Okay.
I'll put that to good use.
So, old Infinity is in bed. This is my new Infinity. Alright, let's run a map. And I don't want to do souls because I don't think that's going to be good for the test. How about Canyon of Secheron? And since we're having fun, let's go ahead and throw a standard on it. All right, here we go. I think I'm more likely to die than a mercenary. So the things I want to put to rest are one, the faster bases result in more Merc survivability, and two, some people seem to think like you have to have 125 IS to run a Warpike. I'm at 384. The 3.84 attack speed, 105 IS. On a tough map, you know, canyons, got charger snakes, a lot of range damage, high density and all that. So let's see if he survives. Fucking frig off with the Midar, huh? I was just joking when I call it LOD a bad game. I didn't play it, but into other stuff at the time. And I really enjoy ribbing the LOD diehards. All these potions I'm picking up are for me, by the way. Because of these charger snakes. By the way, the Merc might die on the boss. And that's... he dies on the boss. With my own Infinity, he does. But he's not gonna die. On just random trash. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. It's an insane fort base. Approaching the boss here. Yep, this is his room. We didn't die. That feels good. I intended to rebuff before the boss. I guess I just messed it up. And an F Scarab Husk. And a Shiver Armor Archon staff. Pity it has 2 sockets. So I'm going to go ahead and play out the map, but you basically get the idea. I'm keeping this Infinity, by the way, the Warpike. Not sure if I'll sell the Stygian Pike one. It's quite a nice Infinity, or use it elsewhere. I'm not sure yet. So, TBD, but the one he's wearing is my new Infinity. I didn't need to roll the Infinity, but you know. It's like pretty hard to get an upgrade over what I had, because I had a 314 and a Stygian Pike, which is a nice base, nice roll. So, but we got the only base that's better, and managed to beat the roll. So We did somehow find the upgrade. If it wasn't at least 314 ED, if it was like, I don't know, I would have done the math for real high and figured out which is actually better. Just let him fight a few mobs. Fun to watch. Oh, yes, exactly what we were wanting. My bitchiness gets rewarded. Oh my god. Oh. The game's like, yeah, pull rune not good enough for you. Well, you know, I'm never upset to find a pull rune. There was some time. There were, like, season 3, for like 3 straight days in Chaos, I found nothing but lens and poles. It was like, more fucking sure good. Then we started finding some other but in general, it's always a good thing. I don't know if I'm done here or not. I don't know if I'm gonna get this map quite yet. I was saving most of my T3s when I was 96 for 97 plus. So we just like started regularly running this map basically. This one, Chaldeum and Blood Moon are the 3 T3s. We do well in as a fire sorceress. And this one's just by far the most experienced. Chaldeum's quite quick, at least. I mean, it's very quick. It's like 6-minute clears, whereas this one's like 10, maybe 12. Chaldeum's 6, 7. But in terms of like XP for materials used to load the map, there's just no comparison between this map and the other 2. And Blood Moon is just objectively worse than the other 2 for experience. It's like the same amount of experience in Chaldeum, but it takes a lot longer. It's not good for XP. But it's better than a T2 on balance. So still run it. It's also quite safe. So for that reason, it's a big part of my leveling plan at 98. Okay, I think we're done here. I think. Okay, so the Merc didn't die. Fully cleared. Rough. T3. I didn't give him a single potion the entire time. You don't need 125 IS for a Warpike. You just need as much IS as you can get without sacrificing other things you want, like off-weapon ED and IS and PDR, just general survivability stuff. So yeah, I don't even have any PDR, by the way. No PDR on this Merc except for his Defiance aura. It's Infinity Warpike, 3 socket G-Face, Fortitude, Gore Riders with CBF, 30 IS Nosferatu, and 30 IS Drax. No PDR. He doesn't die. So, the idea that you need to select your mercenaries Infinity base with survivability in mind is stupid. Don't listen to anyone who's talking about that. Thank you all for watching. It's fun rolling a new Infinity and getting a 318 roll. I am quite happy about that. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video and learned something. At the end of the day, the Infinity base isn't like that important. Obviously, Warpike's best, but you'll probably be fine with whatever. But I hate misinformation, and I hate groupthink that's informed by that misinformation even more. So I just wanted to make this video to debunk all of that shit. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.